Gooners!
Assemble.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Life So Crazy. It's the Vongola boss here. PC players, I owe y'all an apology. I wasn't really familiar with your game. The explosive launch of Stellar Blade on PC has shown me that y'all are men and women of culture. I had modest projections of what this game was going to do. I was in the ballpark of, 40, 50,000, some light, especially after seeing the demo peak at like 26K. So in my mind, I thought, well, when launch comes, double that and call it a day. But talk about going even further beyond. 180,000 peak on a weekday, no less.
Who would have thought? Not me.
You're trying to tell me it could go even higher this weekend? The point I'm trying to make here is Stellar Blade, it's just a gooner game, bro, is undeniable now. In fact, it's in its own lane. Numbers wise, it has completely outperformed every single former PlayStation exclusive later brought to PC in concurrent player count. The God of Wars, the Horizons, The Last of Us, your Spider-Mans. And sure, these games no doubt outperform Stellar Blade on PS5 hardware, but with Sony's efforts to break into the PC market and make a splash, this is something they have to take note of, even if they're reluctant to do so. But honestly, we can't give Stellar Blade too much credit here. It's not as if they were up against stiff competition. And hold up, wait a second. Did y'all hear that? Yeah, that's the sound of 7 million games journalists who had something to say about this game. Quiet, because now they know better. But that doesn't mean they sure as hell didn't try, because when the demo for this game came out, the usual suspects were feeling a type of way because of the mods people were creating in a demo, saying that the mods people were coming up with were a little too much, as if the people creating them asked. Meanwhile, the director and producer of the game, Kim Hyung-tae, when asked about his stance on modding, said, quote, "I fully support the phenomena of players using mods. In fact, I myself also want to try out some of the more exciting mods."
What do you mean by that?
I look forward to seeing many players create their own mods and engaging in healthy competition with them to see whose mods are more attractive. I also hope that more players can get involved in mod creation. So there you have it, folks, from the mouth of the top brass. If you see anyone complaining about these mods, you need to tell them in no uncertain terms to sabao.
Shut your ass up!
Now that aside, one thing I do want to know is how this game is performing country to country. Black Myth Wukong went crazy last summer, peaking nearly at 2.5 million players. And while players are players, sales are sales, most of that was coming from Chinese gamers. So I wonder if the same could be said for Stellar Blade here. Do the majority of players here come from Asian countries? Either way, I might be a Stellar Blade fan, but I am not a glazer by any means. I've made plenty of videos where I've criticized the game and all that. So even before I made this video, I was trying to downplay this game's success. The game can't be doing this well just because of its stellar assets. Surely not. Is it because PlayStation, if I recall correctly, removed their PSN account creation requirement for this game, whereas other PlayStation exclusives, I'm pretty sure had that? It's what partially gutted the momentum of Helldivers 2 a year ago. But no, the math just wasn't mathing. Because if we look back to that list of PlayStation exclusives, you'll see that the sequels to many of Sony's critically acclaimed exclusives did worse than their predecessors. Men lie, women lie, the numbers here don't. But let's end the debate once and for all. Is Stellar Blade only doing this well because gooner bait? Well, former PlayStation exec Shuhei Yoshida, who was instrumental not only to finding this game, but supporting it throughout its development during his time when he was still with Sony, thinks otherwise. In an interview with Game Watch, former Sony chief said the biggest reason for Stellar Blade's success is its combat.
You believe that?
Press X to doubt. Or is he onto something? Some attribute Stellar Blade's success on the PlayStation 5 to its sexier aspects, but former president of SIE Worldwide Studios Shuhei Yoshida thinks it's the combat that does the heavy lifting. He revealed he first got to play the prototype of the game back in 2019, when it was under the working title Project Eve, stating that he found the combat to be so fun and engaging, he offered Shift Up a publishing deal with Sony. This guy literally gave us one last banger before he left PlayStation. He continues by saying, Yoshida claims that while Stellar Blade's character designs, technical aspects, and graphics are second to none, it is the difficult but rewarding nature of the combat that led to it becoming so successful. A departure from Shift Up's previous work, Stellar Blade's combat combines fluid hack and slash gameplay with well-timed defensive dodges and counterattacks. Obviously, the aesthetics of this game were monumental in its marketing. The controversy created a Streisand effect, and it was non-stop up until the game's release. But that's not enough to give it legs or any kind of staying power. Like, can we keep it a buck here? If the game wasn't good, it wouldn't be this well received. I see some people in their infinite wisdom saying that, oh, gacha games that are gooner bait do well, and that this game is just a $70 AAA version of that. My brother in Christ, you sound dumb. Now, what I've noticed from looking at the discourse online around this take is that most of the people saying it never played the game. I can only speak for myself and my library of games here, but you can see here there's a pattern amongst the games I like to play, and then you'll see that one of them is unlike the others here. Yeah, Stellar Blade. I'm not spending a dime on a video game just because there's a hot girl. You must be out your damn mind. I've already talked about this numerous times in previous videos. In fact, go watch the Stellar Blade video I made previously about my predictions for the sequel. Even though the story isn't the best, and that's simply because of the way it's executed, do not get it twisted. There's a great foundation they can build on. But I'm only speaking for myself here. I can't even say the people who think otherwise are entirely incorrect. We are in a day and age where men will empty out their bank accounts on OnlyFans, pay money to talk to chatbots, androids, and I'm not talking about androidos. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts with this. If you take the sexy out of Stellar Blade, but the combat is the same, does it reach the same heights, or is its general reception diminished greatly? Or is it non-existent? Does it fall to the wayside and become a part of the myriad of gooner games that release to obscurity? Flip it. Let's say the gameplay isn't anything to write home about, the music isn't good, it's literally just waifu simulator. Is it still a hit? I don't think so. Ultimately, it's a combination of both. I do wish the conversation would elevate beyond just gooner bait and eye candy. And that's for gaming as a whole. Believe it or not, there is a healthy balance between what they'd call realism and the type of stuff you'd see on Rule 34. But if an egregious amount of the former didn't plague gaming for the greater part of a decade, something like Stellar Blade would have never came out of left field and made the type of noise it has. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and check out the 2 videos shown up on the screen to see more Life So Crazy. It's been the Vongola Boss, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.